Hey guys, it's CRC Scrap Metal Recycling. Here is the Bluedog 63-ton Alligator Shear. We just finally got everything done on here. Basically, we're going to do a run through the machine. I'll just describe a few things to you. First thing, we've got a safety stop right here. If you connect the main power and this is engaged, you're not going to see the power indicator light turn on. So basically make sure that's released. And as you can see, there is power going to the shear right now. On the first set of buttons here, you have pump start, pump stop. So that starts the pump, that stops the pump. And then here you have shear and retreat, power indicator, and this button over here cycles between auto mode and manual mode. So when this is in auto mode, let's just sort of describe those features to you here for 1 second. So here, we've turned on the pump. This is auto mode. As you can see, the shear is going in auto mode right now. So that'll continue until you either stop it or turn off the mode. Right now I just engaged it into manual mode. So when you're doing manual mode, you have the option of either pressing the shear button to cut, or you have the option of using the foot pedal right here. If you hold down the foot pedal, it tells the machine that you're in auto mode. So that describes the basic functionality of the control panel there, as well as the foot pedal. Over here, one thing you want to note, when we ship these to you, it doesn't come with the oil drips installed. You'll have to install those oil drips. You'll also have to make sure that you grease certain points on this machine regularly. Over here, it says grease regularly. So on the blocks on the side of this, you're going to want to put grease. As well as on the other side, you're going to want to make sure that this is greased well. As well as there's some grease points in the center and in the middle here as well, and down there. And you're going to want to make sure that you're using a lot of grease and constantly maintaining the lubrication on this unit. One of the things you're also going to want to make sure when you get the Bluedog 63-ton Alligator Shear is connecting it. All the hoses are going to be labeled. So on the top here you see A, B, and those will be followed through onto the hydraulic pressure unit over here. And you see A connects here, B connects there, D connects here, C connects here, and you can see over here we also have the C and the D labeled. And we'll make sure that it's labeled on the hoses as well. So as long as those are connected properly, and you have your motor running in a clockwise direction, you should be good for operating this machine. Inside the control panel down here, your ground is up here, and you're going to want to make sure that your 3 hot legs for your 480 come in over here. And then basically it goes to your motor from the terminal strip, goes to your motor right there. Here is where you will connect in all the controls. When you get this, they will not be connected into the terminal strip here, but each one of these wires is labeled. So as long as you follow the labeling on the top with the labeling on the bottom, everything will flow properly. So if you can see, you've got 0 to 10, and then there's, I think, there's some other digits here on the end. It'll be exact same way. I think it says 0, 11, and 12. As long as those are following in the correct order, everything is wired properly with the shear. Also make sure if you're working in the control panel there that you have the main power turned off to the unit. Over here is basically your oil level indicator. You want to make sure that that is showing halfway on there. You will not be able to run the machine unless you have that thing showing with oil level. So it does take quite a bit of oil. Make sure you do fill that up, otherwise you will run into problems running the unit. Oil will go into here. This valve over here you don't want to touch. It's specifically marked do not touch. That will change the pressure of the system. It's set from the factory. Everything's good to go. These control your upward and downward motion. They're basically the trigger sensors for the hydraulic pressure unit. Right now they're not labeled in this unit video. They will be labeled shortly, so you know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Again, you see the motor has to run in a clockwise direction. That's indicated clearly here. And that describes a rundown of the Bluedog Alligator Shear. And right now I'm just going to do a quick demonstration shearing some I just have this is a 14 gauge 77 inch 2x2 split tube angle or a bar here. I'm going to run that through the machine and just show you how it works. So pump start. So right now I'm going to use the foot pedal for this demonstration because I can't shoot the video and run it at the same time. So the foot pedal, here the tube is in, the grip arm comes down first, and then the main arm cuts. Right now, because I'm holding it down, okay, I just released the foot pedal. So you can see that cut, no problem at all. And you see the scrap there. Obviously, you're going to want to make sure that you use the right safety equipment and you have the right guarding for your local health and safety on there. Obviously, make sure the electrical cabinet is closed. And that basically describes the overall features of the Bluedog 63-ton Alligator Shear. Oh, another point that we want to note here, these limit switches right here, you're going to want to make sure they're not pressed too tight to the side of the top cutter here. You want to make sure they just flow nicely like this and they just lightly rub against. And this one you're going to want to make sure is underneath this welded bar here. So that'll trigger it to basically reverse the motion of the cutter. And make sure when you do install this, I'm going to have this labeled before it leaves, but the top will be mounted to the top hole here on the side of the control panel will mount to the top limit switch. The bottom here will mount to the bottom limit switch. So make sure that those are correctly mounted. Otherwise, if you reverse the motion, it will not operate correctly. And that describes the overall features. As I said, maintenance is very important. Make sure that you're constantly lubing this thing up. So that describes the Bluedog 63-ton Alligator Shear. If there's any questions on this, feel free, let us know. Thank you.